Hey y'all, this is Foxy. I'm here to give you my take on the movie Us. I wasn't gonna go see it because I don't do scary movies. And I looked at the trailer and I was like, oh no, that's not for me. That's gonna play in my head. I have certain beliefs about, things that you don't see, things you don't understand. And I said, I don't have time for that to play in my head. But my sister, she went and saw and she said she laughed at it more than she was scared of it. She's like, it's not even scary. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch it in the daytime, of course. So I went and saw it and I was like, okay. It didn't scare me initially. I don't really think it's a horror film per se, but at the same time, horror sometimes can be that something keeps playing in your mind over and over again. The thing about movies, music, and TV is that they're very psychological. Your subconscious picks up things that you may not pick up right away. And I think that happens to me because later on that night uh it started to play, or maybe early in the morning when I was getting ready to go to work. I think it started to play over in my head over and over again. That's horror. But anyways, if you're the type of person that comes to a movie late, get there early. See the first part where the little girl's watching the 1986 commercial, Feed America, Feed the Hunger, or something like that, because it has to do with the movie later on. I thought the movie was okay. I liked it. I probably have to watch it again to kind of see some other things, even though I'm not a big fan of watching movies over and over again. But if you're there to analyze a movie, you probably should. Um, the first thing we see is that the main character and her family are at a fair for her birthday. She's carrying a red candied apple. You can tell that the mother is more of a serious woman. Even though they're at a fair at nighttime, supposed to be celebrating, um, the mom is a serious person. The dad, he's had a couple beers and he's a little loose. And the thing that gets me about that is that I realized later on when she grew up, she was more of the serious type, and her husband was more like her father in a sense. Some people say that they felt like, oh, he's a punk in this movie. No, I didn't get that out of the movie personally. But anyways, they're at the fair, and the mom says, hey, let's go to the bathroom. Little girl's like, I'm forgetting that girl's name. I don't have to use the bathroom. So the mom thinks about it, and she tells the husband as he's finna play whack-a-mole, watch her. She tells the little girl, stay close. Soon as the mom walks away, what does the kid do? She walk her tail right away, hard-headed. A lot of times we think that just because kids do things because they're kids, that they don't get punished for it. You could be naive, you could be ignorant, it doesn't matter. Whatever decision you make, whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it's right, whether it's wrong, you have to pay the consequences of that decision. She was being hard-headed, and she had to pay for that decision of being hard-headed. She walked away. She goes to the beach, carrying her little. She's carrying her apple, her candy apple. She goes to the beach and she looks at the water for a little while. She turns around and her eye is caught by Vision Quest. It's a mirrored room, and it says either find yourself or know yourself. So as she walking, she drops. We see that she drops the apple. Apple could mean sin. Apple could mean knowledge. Um, Apple could mean temptation. If we say that it means knowledge, she dropped her knowledge because she wasn't supposed to be where she was at. So she walks into the Vision Quest. And right when she walks in, an owl comes out. An owl, because I'm thinking as I'm watching this movie, what do these things mean? Because if you know the director, you know that he's a comedian, he's a writer, and you know that their mind thinks a little differently, and they're putting things in here for a reason, and it's up to you to kind of figure it out. So an owl, I'm like, an owl, what is an owl? An owl is a silent predator. We love to talk about eagles. I love eagles, but when you hear birds like that, you're gonna hear their wings. You're gonna hear it flap. But an owl is a silent predator, and when she goes up in to this mirrored room, she is silently being preyed upon. She goes in and she looks around, sees all the mirrors, and then she looks up and sees exit sign. So she walks what she thinks is towards the exit. She walks towards the exit, and of course, she hits a mirror. So she turns around. You see no expression on her face, like you don't see fear, you don't see that she's scared or anything. She just, okay, I hit a wall, so now I need to do this. And it's amazing because a lot of times we see many exit signs, and it's the wrong way. We hit walls. We think, oh, we'll just go this way, we'll just go that way, and we hit walls in life. There was only one way out for her. Well, actually, there's more than one. Only one correct way out for her. But she gets to looking at the mirrors and she starts whistling. And maybe the whistling calms her. So she whistles, and when she stops whistling, she hears her same whistle being whistled, in the mirrors or whatever. And she gets to the mirror and she sees the back of her head. And then, of course, at that point in the beginning, they go to modern day where she's grown and she has her own family. And they're going on vacation. They're going back to the house that she grew up in, and her mom has just recently died like a year before. We never find out what happens to the dad. No, those kind of things I like to know. I like to make things complete in a family, in a sequence or something, but we don't know what happens to the dad. We don't know if he just goes away. Um, and, you know, the husband wants to go to the beach. She doesn't want to go to the beach because she had a traumatic experience there. Um, but he convinces her, and she says, we have to be back before dark. Okay. Uh, she's laying on the couch and she's like thinking. And on the coffee table, there's a fake spider and there's a real spider crawling by the fake spider. Sometimes spiders represent your fear. And I can imagine her laying in that, as I saw, laying in that couch, thinking about her time at the beach. It's fear. She has a fear of that beach, or being there. And another thing, when she was little, there was a guy with a sign at the fair, and the sign said Jeremiah 11:11. So when they go to the beach, there's ambulance, and she's saying that don't look, don't look, don't look. They're looking. There's a guy that's in the bed, ambulance bed. He has a sign on the side. It's Jeremiah 11:11. So we can assume that the same guy, it's an older guy, the same guy from her childhood, at that same place on this day that she comes back, he dies. Um, so they go to the beach, and they meet up with some friends, and the lady that's there, the friend, she tells her that she had some work done. She said, I just had, like, she pulls up her shades. I had like a little work done right there. And that's significant later on. Um, the kids are playing. Their friends have two girls. I'm believing they're twins. They look like they're twins, little snotty twins. Um, the main character, she has a daughter and a son, and her son ends up going to the bathroom. He goes to the porta potty. When he comes out the porta potty, he tells his sister that he's going, but the mom and dad, they don't know. Um, he's in the porta potty, uses the bathroom. He comes out, he sees this man standing there, just the back of the man, and there's blood coming out of the man's hand. And he just goes back to where he was with the mom. In the meantime, she's like, "Where's Jason? Where's Jason?" She's looking around and she's freaking out. When she finds him, she goes crazy. And then, the next scene, they're back at the house, and the teenage daughter's like, way to freak out mom, you know. So during this night, she finally reveals to the husband that, she had a traumatic experience when she was a kid. And he's looking like, that happened when you was a kid. And she's like, "You don't believe me." He's like, he's like, "Well, you never told me about this." And that's something else. When you are with somebody, you got to know who you with. You are not being completely who you are with this man. So he's at a disadvantage. He doesn't really know who you are because you've kept some things to him, some vital information from this man that he should know about. This information comes back to haunt you. Not only haunt you, but it haunts your family. So he agrees to go, okay, we want to leave, blah, blah, blah. Then the lights go out. And at the same time, they say, "Oh, dang, the lights went out." Shoot, and he makes, he's talking about the friends, how they have a generator at the place they're staying at. But they turn and look, and they're scared. Their son, who always wears a doggone mask, and always trying to do this doggone magic trick that he hasn't perfected yet. Uh, he says, "There's a family in the driveway." And the dad's like, "There ain't no family in the driveway, you know." But there's a family in the driveway. When he goes and look, it's like, oh shoot, there's a family in the driveway. Okay, let me fast forward because this end up being long, long, long. They end up being clones of them. They are tethered together. I think that's the word, tethered together. And the dad gets a bat and tries to go, scare off the family, but they end up coming forward and like, we finna get up in here. And he runs back in the house with his bat and he tries to close the door. He does close the door, which doesn't matter because they got the key. You know how some people like to keep a key on the outside under a rock? Well, somebody already knew there was a key there. Somebody already knew. The lady already knew there was a key there. And then the mom was like, "Oh, the key." He's like, "What key?" Because he didn't know that there was a key outside the door. That's another thing. Is stuff that you have kept from your husband that has brought y'all to this situation. So they got the key trying to get in, right? And he has the bat in his hand and he's trying to, put his body up against the door, make sure they don't come in. And the guy, his clone, gets the bat, gets his hand back in there, and hits the dad on the leg. And so the dad is down, and he has to back up. He got to crawl. And I think some people don't realize if you have a clone of yourself, he's a big man, and somebody hits you with a bat at a force that you're able to hit at, you're gonna be down for a minute. Come on now. Some people, I think they expected this to be a superhero type of man. And a lot of times when you get in situations like that, you may not know what to do. Yeah, you looking at a movie, you gonna say what you gonna do, but you get in certain situations, you don't even know what to do. Uh, so eventually they all get on the couch, and the mom is the only one that can talk. The other one's like, maybe they understand noises. They understand her English, which her voice is like this when she talks. But you can kind of get what she's saying. You can definitely get what she's saying. But during the time on the couch, the husband's like, you know what, you can just take me to the ATM. I get some money. You can have that boat because he bought a boat. And the daughter's like, nobody want that boat, Dad. Nobody want that boat. But anyways, the clone lady mom makes the other lady handcuff herself to to the coffee table, and one by one, everybody's taken away from the mom. The mom says she gonna handcuff herself to the table, but she says don't hurt my kids. The dad with the bat takes the drags the doggone daddy out. The daughter, which we hear at the table, she wants to quit track. She sees no reason why she should do not crack, track. She said, what's the purpose of doing track? And the dad's like, Olympics. And she says she'll never make it. So she ends up having to run, but her clone can run just as fast. The son, he's always trying to do a magic trick. So he has to go with the little boy that's his clone, who has mastered making fire with the dang it, what you call it, with the match. So it's almost like what happens above happened below. Below is where the clones lived. That's where their environment was, and they seem to master things that we took for granted, you know, without giving out the plot of everything and the twist, which you just have to see. You begin to understand why she was in fear. The real reason why she was in fear. It wasn't just because of her experiences. It's something that she did and what she brought upon her entire family. The I wanna say something else, but uh, if I say it, it'll give away the movie. I don't want to give away the twist, but there's a couple things that happen, like when her son gets taken and she knows where to go find him. You have to wonder, how does she know where to go find this boy at? And when she has to kill, you wonder, like, the way she's laughing. Why does she laugh like that? It makes you wonder at that time, like it didn't seem part of her character, but it was part of her character. We just didn't know it. But overall, I thought it was a good movie. Um, there's a few things that you have to think when you go to this movie. If you just go for entertainment, which I don't think the writer is just for entertaining. He's telling you something. He's telling you about the clones. He's using the owl. He's using the spider. He's using the word us. This is us, and the things that they're saying. Everything has a meaning. You just have to pull it out if that's the type of person you are. All right, y'all. Y'all just have to go check the movie out, and maybe if I watch it a second time, I'll tell you how I I see it that time, or I may just give the plot away. As time goes on and the movie gets kind of old, we can talk about the twist. All right, y'all.